Meow, let's dive into the thrilling world of Belarusian democracy, where elections are as predictable as a cat chasing a laser pointer. Alexander Lukashenko, Europe's favourite autocrat, is poised to win his 7th term as president of Belarus. 7th! That's more terms than a dictionary, my friends. This election is shaping up to be about as competitive as a weightlifting contest between a bodybuilder and a toddler. Our dear friend Lukashenko has been ruling Belarus with an iron fist since 1994. That's longer than some cheese I've found under my couch. He rose to power promising to fight corruption and maintain stability. Turns out, he meant he'd stabilise his own power and corrupt the entire system. Meow, talk about overachieving. But let's not forget the brave challengers in this electoral farce. We've got Oleg Gaidukovich, Anna Kanapatskaya, Sergei Sirankov, and Alexander Kizhnyak. These fine folks are about as threatening to Lukashenko as a declawed kitten is to a Kodiak bear. They're there to make the ballot look less lonely, like parsley on a plate of dictatorial ambitions. Speaking of opposition, remember the protests of 2020? Hundreds of thousands of Belarusians took to the streets shouting, "Hey, maybe we'd like a different president after 30 years. Lukashenko's response: how about some tear gas and jail time instead? Nothing says democracy quite like beating your own citizens for daring to ask for change. Now, let's talk about Lukashenko's bestie, Vladimir Putin. These two are so close, they're practically finishing each other's sentences. And military operations. Putin's support has been like catnip for Lukashenko's regime. In return, Belarus has become Russia's favourite launch pad. Not for rockets, mind you, but for invasions. They're even hosting Russian tactical nuclear weapons. Because meow, nothing says peaceful democracy like nuclear warheads in your backyard. The international community is not amused. The European Union has been wagging its finger so hard at Belarus, they've developed carpal tunnel syndrome. They've slapped sanctions on 287 individuals and 39 entities linked to Lukashenko's regime. I'm sure Lukashenko is quaking in his dictator boots. Meanwhile, the US State Department called the election a sham, which is frankly an insult to actual shams everywhere. At least shams try to look convincing. Let's not forget the economic impact of Lukashenko's stellar leadership. The Belarusian economy contracted by 4.7% in 2022. But don't worry, it bounced back with a whopping 3.9% growth in 2023. Economic miracle or creative accounting? You decide, my friends. With Western sanctions biting harder than a hungry tomcat, Belarus is leaning on Russia like a three-legged chair. Nothing could possibly go wrong with that arrangement, right? Now, in true authoritarian fashion, Lukashenko has made sure that pesky thing called information doesn't get in the way of his victory. Internet censorship in Belarus is tighter than a cat in a Christmas sweater. During elections, they slow the internet down to a crawl, block websites, and even shut down VPNs. It's almost as if they don't want people to know what's really going on. Shocking, I know. But wait, there's more. Let's talk about the voting process, shall we? It's a masterclass in how not to run a democracy. Early voting started on January 21st, with over 27% of voters already casting their ballots. That's like letting people review a movie before it's even finished filming. And get this, the voting booths don't have privacy curtains. It's as if Lukashenko is saying, "Go ahead, vote for someone else. I dare you." Voters are banned from photographing their ballots, because nothing says free and fair election like forbidding people from documenting their votes. It's almost as if they're trying to hide something. But what could it possibly be? Life for the average Belarusian under Lukashenko's rule is about as comfortable as a bath for a cat. There's an atmosphere of fear and repression thicker than fur in summer. Speaking out against the government is about as safe as juggling flaming chainsaws. But hey, at least the trains run on time, right? Oh wait, they don't. Over the years, Lukashenko has changed more laws than a cat has lives. He's altered the constitution, eliminated term limits, and made criticising him a national sport. If by sport you mean thing that gets you thrown in jail. He's not just moving the goalposts. He's taken them home and melted them down for his personal golden throne. Geographically, Belarus is like the awkward middle child between Russia and NATO countries. It's the buffer zone everyone wants to control but no one wants to visit. Lukashenko has masterfully played both sides, like a cat batting a mouse between its paws, except the mouse is democracy, and it's not so much batting as absolutely demolishing. Now, my friends, Unlike in Belarus, your vote actually counts here, so be sure to like, subscribe and comment on this video. It's probably the only fair voting you'll do today. And remember, every subscription is a tiny rebellion against authoritarianism, or at least that's what I tell myself to feel better. In conclusion, as Belarus gears up for another round of Who Wants to Be a Dictator, remember that in the grand game of democracy, Lukashenko is playing solitaire while the rest of the world is trying for chess. But hey, at least he's consistent. Consistently autocratic, that is. We'll return shortly with more updates. I'm Ron de Parmesan, and this has been another Newscat special report. Stay informed, stay satirical, and most importantly, stay free. Unless you're in Belarus, in which case, well, good luck with that.